Oh wow, you guys, seriously, so many thank yous. We hit 20,000, and if you haven't already subscribed, please think of doing so. I appreciate all the support, and you know what? It's totally free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Yay! So for this video, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a rainbow of Crayola markers. I'm gonna start grabbing names out of the jar, and then we are going to just do some basic lettering so you can kind of see how I do your names, how I do connections. So let's get started. Our very first person today is going to be Angela. All right, Angela, let's do this. Thanks so much for subscribing. Let me know, you guys, if I do your name, comment below. If you want your name to get lettered, make sure you comment below. I've been keeping everything in a jar. My jar is actually getting huge, so I might have to start putting it in a bucket or something. So remember, when you're doing your Crayolas, it has a different type of a tip. So you're gonna get the thick and the thins by changing your pressure and how you're holding your pen. So I will link to my Crayola video where I give my tips. That video, you guys, oh my gosh, has like 8,000 likes. And if we can get to 10,000 likes, oh, that would be awesome. So thanks, you guys. That has lots of tips. You guys love that video. So Angela, thank you so much. And I'll show you how I kind of do the swirl. I think another one has the flourish, so we can kind of talk how I do that. So when you're doing your thicks and thins, it's all about the pressure. Don't forget that. Nina, thank you so much, Nina. So we're going to do orange. Obviously, I'm doing rainbow because I always do rainbows. And so it's also kind of keeping your arm flexible. So when I do the flourish, do you see how I kind of like lift up a little bit? And this is where you're going to have to find that balance. It's loosey-goosey. So like you do the flourish by being loose. So your arm is off the table when you do those big loops. And just remember that as you go, don't be hard on yourself. As you start practicing, it'll get easier. And work on the pressure. My advice would be work on the pressure first. Learn your downstrokes, learn your upstrokes, and then go on to doing like flourishes. Okay, so the next one is for Zara. Thank you, Zara. So the other thing is, when you're doing your flourishes, when you first start out, just use a pencil and sketch it out first. You don't have to just be making it up on the fly. You can do a sketch, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should totally do that till you figure out what you like to do. And I tend to make my R's big. You don't have to do that. That's kind of like my signature thing, I guess. I just make giant R's. But you can totally do whatever makes you happy. Also, don't forget, you can change your alphabet. It doesn't all have to be in script. Cecilia, thank you, Cecilia. So if you want to have capital letters that are like print mixed in with your cursive looking letters, then do it. There's no rule here. And if I hear people like say that you can't do this or you can, that kind of drives me crazy. So this is your art. Do what you want. And the Crayolas are a great learning tool because they're inexpensive, and if you have kids, they're usually around you in abundance. So I'm going to do a couple more. We're going to get through the rainbow, and I just want to say thanks, you guys. Hitting 20,000 has taken me quite some time, and it's a huge accomplishment for me, and I really, really appreciate it. Cassandra, I love it. There's a Z, which is cool. I like doing Z's. So also, this is real time for me, and I don't want you guys to think that you need to go this fast. I've been doing this for several years now, and I usually will make time for myself to letter every single day. So my recommendation is go slower than this and do a little something every day to be creative. And don't stress out if it's not perfect. It's not about that. It's about, just having fun and finding something cool to do. Okay, so we are like going into the blues now, and we've got Well, I got an angry puppy if you could hear her barking at me. Francis, okay, so I always do my F's backwards. Don't comment that you hate it. It's just the way I do it. And I like it that way. And I always kind of will sometimes either leave the R by itself or connect it to the crossbar there. Thank you, Francis, so much for watching. I appreciate it, Francis. All right, so let's see what we got going on now. We are going to be moving on into, I think I have a dark blue here. So, and I am like overwhelmed with how many people have actually wanted me to letter their name. So I think what I'm gonna do is a series, Julian, thank you, Julian, a series of using different pens and then just picking a bunch of names and showing you guys how I use them. And if they're new pens on the channel, I'll probably go over those as well. Because if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I'm a bit of a hoarder. So I kind of have a lot of pens that I've collected over the last couple of years. So see how I put in one of my capital letters, the L. I don't know why I do that. I just do. So if you want to do something or experiment with your letters, go for it. There's no hard, fast rule. And if it is, break it because it shouldn't be there. So we are now going into our purples, and this one's for Tony. Thank you, Tony, for watching. And I kind of was consistent on doing my flourish here, but because I just want you guys to see, like, I am really just very lightly touching the paper and moving my whole arm when I do that flourish. So thank you so much, Tony. I really appreciate it. I think I got two more here. I got a magenta color and a hot pink. So we are going to pick two more names, and don't forget to let me know. And if you guys are interested, I do have a Patreon account. I cannot post regularly. Cadence, thank you so much, Cadence. I don't post super regularly because it was never about me becoming a huge YouTube star. It was about me just sharing my knowledge when I was learning. I couldn't find information super readily available. But I am enjoying this so much. It's kind of like grown more than I ever imagined, and it's becoming my job. So I just wanted to put out there that I do have a Patreon account. For as little as $2 a month, you could buy me a cup of coffee, and eventually that'll help so that I can actually put more time in getting information out to you guys. And I don't think I'm a normal Bree. Thanks, Bree. I don't think I'm a normal letterer in the sense, like, I don't know. I feel like I do things kind of weird. Maybe it's just the way my brain works. But I like to do other projects too. So I like to do beadwork, and I also love to do home stuff, and I haven't really shared a whole bunch of that, but I think it's going to be coming on the channel because that's just part of my life. So thank you guys for those who have contributed on Patreon, mostly my family, but thank you. I really appreciate it. It's only $2 a month to participate, and I would appreciate it. Okay, here's the last one for Yolanda, and I love the way this one's going to turn out because not only is it hot pink, but I like to mix my letters, and it just looks really cool. So I just want to thank you guys all one more time. Big, huge virtual hugs from me to you. And thanks for being a part of my journey. I really, really appreciate it. And if you ever do any lettering and I've helped you or inspired you in any way, tag me on Instagram, and that way I could see and support you too. Thank you guys so, so much.